Hello and welcome to the Build with Baer workshop. My name is Pat Baer and I'm here to build a Lego set and to hang out with all of you. I'm throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the tier 2 blue emote in the chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you are not yet a subscriber, you can just say hi or use other people's emotes, or you can just be a lurker. Also, throw the emotes in the chat because Aristofan just subscribed at tier 2. That's 55 months, which is so many goddamn months. So let's put the emotes in the chat and thank Aristofan for renewing their subscription to tier 2. Those are the emotes you get. The tier 2 emote is me as Goku, Super Saiyan Blue. Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Blue, Goku. Pat. That's what it is. But welcome to you. Mjan is here. Hello, Mjan. The agenda for tonight, I started the Lotus Evija. I'm double checking my pronunciation. I believe Lotus Evija. Yes, the Evija. Which is a ultra car that is electric. So we did not build an engine or a facsimile of an engine in this Lego set. Just like, I don't know if we're going to build a battery pack. I actually don't think that they go that, because often when they do like cars, Lego cars in the Speed Champions line, they will do like the parts of an engine in the inside. This one is just like a bunch of components. And I assume that the batteries are not where the engine should be, but I don't know on this car. But it doesn't look like we're building those specifically. Arctic Sloth also just subscribed to tier 1 for 15 months. Thank you so much for the resubscription. Throw the Bear Cave Lego site emote in the chat for that. Arctic Sloth, thank you so much for renewing as well. And of course, Aristofan, thank you very much for that. Appreciate that. The renewal is always appreciated from your friend Pat. So yeah, we're doing Lego. Got our little Lotus driver here. I don't think we're going to finish tonight because this kit has a bunch of stickers, which will slow me down. My guess is that we will finish this on Monday and then work on a model kit right over here. Oh, upside down. My apologies. That's right. Choo Choo's Demi Trainer. The Kiss Kiss Demi Trainer, as it might be literally translated. So yeah, that's a fun little kit. That'll be pretty easy, but I like building grunts from Witcher Mercury. They're good grunts. Lashbrook is here. Hello, Lashbrook. Happy to have you here. So yeah, that's the agenda for tonight. Like I said, I don't think we're gonna finish this Lego set. I think we'll finish it on Monday, but we'll get through quite a bit of it. I'm sorry, I'm itching. I did a lot of yard work today, mowed, and then did some raking and some moving of some piles of stuff, and sweep it up. I don't recommend it, especially with the pollen in the air today, unfortunately. High pollen count in my neck of the woods. But yeah, let's talk about some stuff and we'll hang out. I'm going to retweet my tweet so we can get a few more friends to join us tonight. If tonight is a chill stream, then it's a chill stream, and that's okay. That's fine. I got a pop-up notification on Twitter today saying like, hey, I mean, you're gonna lose your check mark soon. What if you got Twitter Blue? And it's just like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna do that. So it's okay. I mean, I like being verified. I like the verified tab. Yes, indeed, John. He could just F off, and that would be pretty good. Yeah, I like having the verified tab. There are certain things that are nice about that that have been rolled out to other people, but that tab is sometimes kind of helpful. It does say, hey, I am who I say I am, which is nice. Not that there's anybody out there impersonating me, but it'll be easier to do that. Someone could spend $7 because I was verified. Someone could spend $7 and then say like, oh no, I'm the real one, because remember that I have the tick mark that makes me official. But it's not worth it to me on a monthly basis to have that. Because like, hey, here's the thing. Trying to make the real Pat Baer. Yes, right. Here's the thing. A big thing that people were like, oh, well, eventually you're going to get less ads. I think that's a lie. I don't think you're going to get less ads, because they need to make as much money as they can, and they can't make as much money as they can if they're not serving ads. But also, I don't see them because I rarely use my phone, Twitter on my phone. I mostly use it on my computer in a browser. I don't see ads on there. So I'm not seeing those terrible ads that people eventually will see less of by paying $8 a month or whatever. I don't see those. So that actually is not a going concern for your friend Pat. I'm getting less ads right now due to the advertisers pulling out a while ago. Yes, also, John, we're already seeing less ads because they're selling less ads. Now, you could say to advertisers going forward, hey, since we did this, we've been X amount of money. The people that are paying this, we can say these are actively power users. These are people who are interested in using the service and all that. Like, this is a good sign, but you would need an advertising department. You would need a department to work with people who are not, and also the people you're advertising to don't want to pay you money to be an organization, so they're like not thrilled either. I always wondered if people that register their name as the real or true, that their name also registered the fake version too. So I know that like Kofi Kingston is like true Kofi because someone who had Kofi Kingston wouldn't give it up. On, I think, Instagram before it got bought by Facebook, and he just went with it. I am sure there are a few people out there that have, like, multiple names. I know that, like, I think Austin Walker eventually got Austin Walker without the underscore, but because he said Austin underscore Walker for so many years on podcasts, he was like, well, I can't, people listen to old podcasts. So I know some people have eventually gotten the real version of their thing, but then just went back and kept the old and have both. So that's always a thing. But yeah, I could get real Pat Baer and just keep it in case something happened to fake Pat Baer, which is Pat Baer. I don't have fake Pat Baer. That's what I'm saying. If somebody wanted to get fake Pat Baer, I guess they fucking could, but that seems like it would be a waste of a Twitter account, which is not saying much, of course. We do have to put a sticker on here. This is actually going to go on. This is going to go in and go upside down. It's actually going like this, so it's going to somehow. No, oh, I did this wrong. Did I do this wrong? Okay, it's going to go like this, then go in upside down. No, I did this wrong. How am I just fucking? This looks like this. This looks like that. Put the sticker on there, and then eventually it's going to go in. It's going to go like that. How does it? Oh, it goes like this. Okay. So eventually it's going to go like that. We're putting it in place first before I put the sticker on, just so that I can see kind of how it worked, because it was an odd assembly. And now that's sticker 6, and it should say Lotus on it. I imagine you don't want Lotus to be upside down, so. The way I have it, yeah. I guess Lotus would be upside down? That don't make no sense. I'm gonna make this image bigger so I can look at it. Hold on. Oh, nope, that's not it. That's not the right one. This one? Nope, that's not the right one. I have a couple images here hidden for later use. There it is. It's very funny because I don't even see it. Oh, we just got raided? Hello, Zombie Pie just raided with a party of 6. Welcome, Raiders. Happy to have you here. All right, we're just going to go by what it says in there. I'm applying a sticker right now. Welcome, everybody, to the old Build with Baer workshop. It's Lego night. Happy to have you here. Working on the Lotus Evija. It is a ultra car. Okay, so this wants me to put this on here like this. I'll do it just as it says. So this wants me to go like this. Have it say Lotus. But hey, happy to have you here. Welcome, Raiders. If you don't know me, I'm Pat Baer. I build model kits and Lego sets. 3 times a week, and then once a week I play video games or do like long conversations about stuff, like talk show kind of things, of various quality and presentation. And we chat about anime and video games and what's going on in the world and wrestling and all kinds of things. Hit the follow button if you would like, because you should know when I go live. I have a nice, very fun community of folks here. It's very laid back. I read every chat message. I respond to almost all of them. On occasion, I don't. I'll be honest. No, there's some times where I don't. Sometimes it's just like a thing that I look at and go, okay. All right, no, that is not upside down when I put it on there. All right, you got the Lotus sticker is now on this kit here, so we're good to move on for this. I looked up the name Evija. I believe I am pronouncing that correctly. If I am not pronouncing Evija correctly, that means that people who clearly were paid in some way by Lotus to talk about their fancy car in promotion, in videos that are clearly promotional in nature but done on someone's YouTube channel, were saying the name wrong. Because there were like at least 2 videos I found on YouTube that were like exclusive first looks that were like posted like within like the same day or a day apart. And I was like, okay, you both got the exclusive, huh? Sure. Cool. You get to drive around in this cool ultra car that's electric and say very nice things about it. But whatever. That's my secret to you, friends. If you're ever worried about a pronunciation, perhaps someone's name or location or something like that, and you're like, I don't know how to say this, you should get on YouTube and look it up. It's very valuable to do that. This was my big secret because if folks don't know, for many years, and someday, hopefully in the future, I ended up on YouTube for pronouncing so many names of people in Gundam. Yes, it's good for Gundam model kits from shows I didn't watch. I have said them wrong, and sometimes there's probably some that I'm still saying wrong, but I do try to look those up. The Elfrith is a one that I was saying very wrong, which is over my shoulder here, and probably still saying wrong. But back in the day when I was a tech for a comedy theater, part of my job was to introduce the hosts of a show, like a stand-up show, right? And most of the time, those hosts would get there at a reasonable time, but sometimes they wouldn't, or they would get there after I had already started the show. And in some venues, that meant that I couldn't talk to them before the show started because I couldn't easily get to where they were. Hey, Robot Don, welcome. It's going good. Happy to have you here. So sometimes I couldn't easily get in touch with people or talk to them, or I would ask like, okay, so hey, how do I say your name? And they would just like, it didn't really matter, but it does matter to me. Because I also understand that some people are fucking tired of explaining to white dudes like me how to say their very common last name in a place that is not where I was raised. And it's totally reasonable for them to be tired of people getting their fucking name wrong. So sometimes, or in instance, this is like, well, Pat, why didn't you just talk to them ahead of time? Every once in a while, there'd be somebody that was like an opening act for a long stand-up. The opening act hadn't arrived yet, or the person I was talking to didn't know how to say their last name. So what ended up happening is that I would just go on YouTube, and because if they're a stand-up, often stand-ups who had, especially if their name has been said wrong, they will start their set by saying their name out loud. Like, you know, it's like, oh, hey, I'm so-and-so. And you could be like, oh, great. Okay. They literally just told me how to pronounce their name at the start of their set. That is very convenient for me. And so I would just look for the sets. Or a podcast appearance where they say, oh, yeah, hey, you know, here's so-and-so. And it's like, okay, they didn't correct them. That seems to be how to say this person's name. So that was a really big help for me. For a workshop that Njan ran, you literally had a person show up late, and I had to whisper, hey, how do I say your name, like 30 seconds before I introed them. Yes, because sometimes people just roll in, and you don't know. But thankfully, like I said, because stand-ups, comedians, actors, someone has said their name on a YouTube thing at some point because they probably have done some sort of social media. Or you can look at their like Twitter profile, because sometimes they will put a pronunciation guide in there. Or like, I know how to say Sungwon's name, Sungwon Cho's name, ProZD, because Sungwon has made comedy sketches. He calls them skits, and since they're his videos, he can call them skits, even though it's a little cringe to me to call them skits. But he has a comedy skit about people mispronouncing his name, in which he says his name correctly several times. And that's fucking helpful. Let me tell you. That's a great, like, I'll say this to friends. If you have a name, if you have a name that is hard to pronounce for some people, having a video that people can easily Google with your name said correctly, that's pretty great. I know that does not apply, probably does not apply to many of you. Dirty's here. Dirty just renewed sub tier 1. That's 43 months. Welcome back, Dirty. Thank you so much. We're going to throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, and of course the tier 2 blue emote. Thank you very much for that. Appreciate it, Dirty. 43 months is a ton of fucking months. Thank you for your continued support. I appreciate that. I'm going to throw some emotes in the chat. My emotes are made by Xandra, fantastic artist and writer. Check Xandra out. Xandra. Out there doing her thing. We've rated her many, many times. She doesn't stream at night as much anymore. It's a great gesture to ask a person's name pronunciation if time permits. I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, like, part of it for me was my job was to introduce people on a mic. And if you're the host of a show, people are going to see you come up 5-6 times, and it's embarrassing to introduce someone and have them come up and you can't say it, and they're like, and the very first thing they say is, actually, it's Dresden, not Dresden. And I'm like, fuck, I did not know it was Dresden. It is not spelled like Dresden. That is a real example of someone whose name is spelled like Dresden, but it is not. It's Dresden. But if I had done the research, I would have been okay. And also, yes, could that person have rolled with it? But why would they? They're doing a comedy show and trying to get people to follow them on social media and go to their shows that, you know, that cost money and see what they can do and all that. So at least I can do that. At work, I have a little MP4 attached to my profile to say my name. It's an easy English name to pronounce, but I don't know who will find it hard. Totally, right? Like, I don't mind people that say Mr. Baer because they don't think my name would be Baer. Like, I don't mind that. If people say Mr. Baer, Mr. Burr, sure. That's how you think. No, and I'll go like, it's Baer, like the animal. You know, the vowels are reversed because it's German, but it's like the animal. Even a one-on-one conversation helps ease the conversation if you open a common talk. Yeah, because you just be like, so, what I don't want to do is appear to be condescending when someone is telling me their name. Like, Shaban. Is the B a V? Because it's British. Is it Shaban or Siobhan? Shaban or Siobhan? Which is it? Some people make it a V. Some people make it a B. And if someone else introduces you to Siobhan, you might go, now, did they do it right or not? And, you know, that is a thing. If I am able, I'm going to do my best to call you the name that you want me to call you. But especially because it was professional. I have to call people every once in a blue moon, and I've messed up a last name or two. Only once has someone said that the person said I didn't. That the person I said didn't lie there, and then after I started doing my outro, they corrected me. Oh, okay, didn't live there. Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, I mean, like I said, right? There are people out there that have a common name for their culture, their family history, whatever, right? Whatever it is. And they are tired of people just getting it wrong, right? Like a small thing, right? My good friend, I have not seen her in a while. Her first name is Katie, Katey. She's not Kathy. She's not. She's Katie. She's not IE. She's not Kate. She's Katie. That's the name that she is. That's her version of Catherine that she is going with. Is Katie. And like, if you email her and use the wrong Katie, that's rude. And it's a small thing, right? But she's had it plenty of years. If you call me Patrick, I will probably respond to you because there are people in my life who call me Patrick. It is not what I prefer. I prefer Pat, but it is my given legal name. It's on documents. It's fine. Again, I would prefer you use Pat because that is what I go by and that is what I prefer. But that's my legal name, and that's okay. But there are people out there who are just like it fucking sucks that there was a guy at 1UP, and eventually he was just like, hey, call me by my actual name. And that took a lot because he had a name that someone just couldn't figure out and gave him a nickname. And I remember when he was first on podcasts, also, it's spelled differently, but it's Terry. Terry Nguyen, Scooter. Somebody nicknamed him Scooter or Scoot, and it stuck. And then eventually he was just like, that's not my name. And then people were like, yes, you're right. It's not your name. Sorry. It's just like, that sucks. Hey, Lord Crashing, and welcome. That it took like that long to be like, yeah, no. I think Skip Pfister from 1UP was nicknamed Skip Andrew. I think he was nicknamed Skip because there was another Andrew. I don't remember. I don't know if he didn't. I can't remember if he disliked it or not. But I know that Terry did not like being called Scooter, and that sucks for him. That for so long people were calling them. Yes, involuntary nicknames are just like. I have a friend who, co-worker, long time ago. I haven't talked to him in fucking years. I should find Al. His name is Al. His name is Alex. But one of the managers at the theater, when we didn't have a lot of employees, was also, this might be part of our engine here. I think, or I don't know what we're building with this. I don't know how this car works. It's a super electric car. This could be part of the battery pack thing. Like, this could be, like, part of the spot that's, like, technically kind of correct. It's, like, you know, part of it. I don't know. But, yeah, so I don't know who did it, but someone just started calling him Al one day. Because if you yelled for Alex, two people would turn. Because Al worked on the same shift as Alex, who was the boss. So you want to call the boss by his name. So he started going by Al. And then he was like, no, I like Al. It's fine. And there was a period where I was in my early 20s. I was not thinking enough about other people. But there was a intern that came and said, well, is Alex the name that you go by outside of this place? And he was like, yes. It's like, so I should call you Alex because that's what you want to be called? And he was like, no, when I'm at work, I can be Al. And it was like, okay. And then she just points at him and just goes, hey, when you want to be Alex again, let me know. And I was just like, oh yeah, I guess I should have fucking done that. Because I'm not sure, because I wasn't really positive it was cool or not. I just accepted we call him Al at work. And I don't see him outside of work. And then later I would see him outside of work. He's still Al to me, but I don't know. In his professional life, he might be Alex. It is, but it is courtesy to many fine people out there to do what you can to call them what they want to be called. Do it properly. And then I get to learn fun, like Greek names or obscure Italian last names or all kinds of fun things. And the joke I've always said is, hey, we all learned pretty quickly and easily how to say Galifianakis. And if you can say Galifianakis, then, like, You can say most people's names, because that's not easy. If I can say, well, I'm trying to think of real names of people that are in the public eye, so it's okay for me to say their last names. I can say Anthony Atamanuik. Anthony Atamanuik, actor, comedian, a weirdo, wonderful weirdo. You know Anthony best as his brief run as President Trump on the President Show on Comedy Central. It was a very good Trump impression. And you also know Anthony as one of the writers on 30 Rock. He didn't write on 30 Rock. He was one of the writers in the writer's room that never talked. But they would always be writers there in the background. He was that. That was a long-term gig. Yes, Schwarzenegger. We can say Schwarzenegger. But I can say Anthony Atamanuik. So if I can say Anthony Atamanuik, then I can say, like, and I can say Stamatalaki, then, like, yeah, I can say Kumail Nanjiani. I can say Kumail Nanjiani with no problem because I can just fucking figure that shit out. Even if at first, I remember when Kumail showed up around, because he had been Chicago dude, when he showed up in New York, and people were just like, I don't know how to say this name. And I watched people fuck it up. So I was like, hey, Kumail, what's up? How do I say your last name? Because I'm going to introduce you in like 20 minutes. It was like Nanjiani. Okay, great. Got it. And then I looked it up on YouTube and found a video of him saying it. And I was like, hell yeah. Yes, I can easily say Jason Mantzoukas. I can say Jason Mantzoukas, no problem. The T is silent. It's Mantzoukas. But there's a T there. But, like, it's not hard eventually to say that name. Speaking of Jason, I know that at some point in my life I said June Diane Raphael as June Diane Raphael because I assumed it was Raphael and not Raphael. It's Raphael. That's fine. I said June's name wrong when I first knew her many moons ago. That's okay. It happens. I fixed it. Yes. 100%. And then you like learn something like, and it fucks you up because you're like, I've been saying this person's name wrong like all this time and I didn't know that because somebody started saying it wrong and they didn't say anything for a very long time, and then eventually they were like, fuck this, I want people to say my there is a presenter of wrestling content named Ross Twiddle. It's not Ross Twiddell. It's Ross Twiddle. I thought it was Ross Twiddell because he used to say Ross Twiddell because people used to say it wrong, and those people he couldn't correct in his previous job at What Culture. So when then he left, eventually he was just like, it's Twiddle. And people were like, oh, shit, sorry. Like, well, there you go. He said something. Now you can fucking fix it. I gotta look this up. I want to say I just saw a tweet about this. That somebody's name isn't their actual name. Or is it? I gotta look this up. Yeah. Yes. Okay, that's what it is. Willem Dafoe's real first name is William. And that fucking pisses me off. It's fine. It's fine for him that he is Willem Dafoe. Apparently, at some point in his school life, they started calling him Willem, which is like the German version of the name. And so he just went with that when he became an actor. And sure. And who knows? Maybe there was a William Dafoe. That's why Michael J. Fox. The J doesn't stand for anything. He couldn't be Michael Fox, and he couldn't be what his actual middle initial is. So he went with Michael J. Fox. But yeah, also Willem Dafoe was born in Wisconsin. Willem Dafoe was fucking born in Wisconsin. And then let's see. Where did he get the nickname? Tell me where he got the nickname. I'm on his fucking IMDb page because I want to find this shit out. Defoe study drama. Okay, yes, here we go. High school, he acquired the nickname Willem, which is it's the Dutch version of the name William. Only after becoming an actor did he take the second interpretation of his stage name. There you go. Also, some of his family doesn't call it DeVoe. Some of it call it Defoe. They pronounce it differently. But that's it, and that made me unreasonably angry. It seems like a normal thing for actors to accept weird name changes. I mean, like I said, there used to be a long-standing rule where technology makes this easier, but like you couldn't be Michael Fox because there's already a Michael Fox, and in the registry, in the Rotary, they can't have more than one Michael Fox. So you got to be Michael T. Fox, but you can't be Michael T. Fox, so you'll be Michael J. Fox. Part of it is also credits and keeping track of that. Again, with the internet, it's much easier to do that stuff, and I believe that they have been a little more laxed with that. But then you'll see, like, sometimes you'll see people like credited as a certain name, and that's tied together, and other people don't get that tied together, and it's a whole fucking thing. But the fact that Willem Dafoe is William Dafoe, and then in high school he somehow people just started calling him a different thing, and he was like, I'm going to go with that. It was the thing that I was just like, this should not make me slightly irrationally angry, but it fucking does. I don't know. But also, his name is Willem Dafoe. And unless he goes, you know what, call me William. That's my real first name. I'm going to call him Willem Dafoe if I ever met him. I have not met him. But, like, that's what he's going by, so that's what I call him. Because, yeah, of course. But it is a little bit, I'm like, you're a William. You're definitely a William Dafoe, but whatever. Sure. I am trying to find this exact green piece that I need, and I keep finding the other green pieces that I don't need. And then you have to look and go, did I accidentally put the wrong piece somewhere that I do need, or can I just find the exact one I need? I need to find this piece here, identical to this, which looks like this here. And not one of I need these two, but there it is. I found it. Simpsons feature writer David X. Cohen added the X when he started writing. Yeah, I mean, some people do that. Some people, like, their name is too similar to somebody, and they don't want to be mistaken for that person, so they will just use a variation of their name, or their name is very common, and they would like to have one that is not, so that people recognize their name and will see them in places, and all of that is totally reasonable and totally understandable. So, like, good on people for wanting to do that. But yeah, sometimes you're just like, wait, what? The special version of your name isn't real? What? What are we doing then? All right, so we got to put that on there. Again, I assume this is kind of our quote-unquote engine, our turbine, our motor, but, like, I'm not 100% sure because I don't know how electric cars really operate. I follow one guy that does some weird electric car, like, videos, but I don't pay that much attention. I kind of zone out when he starts talking about batteries and stuff. I mostly just want to see the old weird cars that he owns. That's just me. Okay. I have other things to talk about tonight. I want to talk a little bit. It's always fun to chat around. Some news coming out of PAX East. The most important news coming out of PAX East is that Jackbox Party Pack 10, which is coming out this year, which, hey, guess what? They're doing another fucking Jackbox. Jackbox Party Pack 10 will include TKO 2, the sequel to TKO. That's fucking right. You don't have to go back to the old games to play TKO unless they somehow make it worse, but I don't think they will because they're pretty fucking good at making good games and making good... like, I've never gone back to Quiplash 2. You know what I'm saying? Like, once the new version comes out, we're good. TKO, 10 years of Jackbox. An all-time classic... the Jackbox Party Pack specifically. An all-time classic. TKO. I'm happy to have a sequel to that. That rules. Also, there was wrestling at PAX. And I know that I'm the guy, me saying, hey, there was wrestling at PAX, and you go, yeah, Pat, I mean, it wasn't you, but yeah, I mean, sure. I'm talking about there was legitimate indie wrestling happening on the show floor at PAX. That's what I'm talking about. What's their name? Skybound Games. Skybound has a bunch of different divisions in entertainment. Games is their gaming division. Their booth for WrestleQuest had an actual wrestling ring. And when I saw that, I was like, oh God, oh no. Did they learn nothing from the foam pit at TwitchCon? But they're not letting people try to be wrestlers in the ring. They were letting indie wrestlers wrestle in the ring. And that's fucking cool. There's a new wrestling game called Wrestle Story. Yes, there's Wrestle Story and WrestleQuest on the show floor. But the one I'm most interested in is WrestleQuest because they had indie wrestling happening on the show floor. And that rules. Of course, obviously, Extreme Cardboard Championships happen, which is great. And we always appreciate those fine folks from Smack Talk Showdown, friends of League of Heels. It's very fun that there was some wrestling there. That's all I really got out of it. I know some people really like, there's like a dating sim that's all where you're a demon in school that people seem to really like that. I heard a few good things coming out of PAX. But that was the one that I was like, TKO, and then also the fact that they're wrestling there. Both those things seemed very cool. And of course, we'll hear from Harold when the weekend is over. Harold is our correspondent. H-Bomb and Friends is live on assignment at PAX East, and we'll get a full report on the goings on and what they've checked out and what he's been doing while he's there. But that seems good, and I'm happy for him. Next week is WrestleMania week. There's a lot of nonsense going on in the lead up to WrestleMania. A few years ago, people decided, hey, if a lot of wrestling fans are going into this city because of WrestleMania, and maybe the locals aren't going to go to WrestleMania, but they like wrestling, why don't we start doing stuff? So WrestleCon started happening in the same city as WrestleMania. These are not affiliated with that, but like there's always going to be a bunch of events that weekend. Because WrestleMania used to be one night and the Hall of Fame was the previous night, and then they started doing NXT one of the nights as well. Now they do 2 nights of WrestleMania, and they're doing like the Hall of Fame directly after the SmackDown before, and then during the day, there's going to be another, like their NXT event will be during the day, and it's going to be like, it's a whole thing. All of it's a whole thing. But anyway, there's a lot of wrestling events happening that weekend. And I'm now going to tell you all of the shows I'm going to attempt to watch next week. Some of which are an hour, some of which are several hours. I'm going to try to watch Impact and New Japan Pro Wrestling Worlds Collide. I am going to attempt to watch Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling Show, SmackDown, WWE SmackDown, WWE Rampage, Joey Janela's Spring Break 7, Effie's Big Gay Brunch, some of WrestleMania Night 1, because I'll be streaming and I won't be able to watch all of it live as it happens, WrestleMania Night 2. There's also other stuff that, like, I'm DDT, like, I don't know when it is, but there's DDT versus, DDT versus GCW. That's a show that I'd like to see as well. For the Culture starts at midnight on LA time because that's where it is. So that's 3 a.m. So I'm not seeing What the Culture live. But all those other shows I'm going to try to watch live. Ring of Honor show is at the same time as SmackDown, and my crew, my wrestle friends, watch SmackDown. So I'll probably end up seeing that. All but one of the shows I listed there are either on television or I can watch with Fight Plus, which is like the subscription service to Fight TV. I do not have Fight Plus, but there's a week-long trial, like a free trial, which I will be getting during the week of, so that way I can watch a bunch of stuff like that. And then the Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling Show is, unfortunately, it's on Fight, but it's not part of Fight Plus, so I have to spend money to watch that show, which I am I mean, I'm not opposed to. I'm not super psyched about spending money for that show because I already pay for Wrestle Universe, and obviously I'm not paying for Fight, but like plenty of people are paying for Fight Plus. But also that show is $20, so I'm like, you know, I would have liked to not spend $20, but it's not the end of the world. It's not like fucking $60 or something. They're making it a reasonably priced show. So that's a lot of fucking wrestling. And there's so much more. There's a bunch of other stuff that looks good. I don't have High Spot Network, so I don't know how much this thing would be costing, but there's a Memorial Super Show that has some Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling wrestlers in it, 10 women tag. There's also some lucha stuff in there. Like El Hijo de Vikingo versus Commander versus Taurus. That's right. El Hijo de Vikingo is wrestling twice on Friday. Or sorry, is that on Thursday? Yes, he's wrestling. They're wrestling on Thursday in a three-way fight with Taurus, and then on Friday they're wrestling one-on-one on Ring of Honor. So that's pretty fun. Josh Barnett's Bloodsport. I do not enjoy the Bloodsport shows. That's not something I want to watch. There's a thing on YouTube that maybe I'll watch later called All Caribbean Wrestling Island Vibes, which just sounds fucking cool, and that's free on YouTube. There is a wrestling show called Jake the Snake's Flirting with Venom, which is not streaming anywhere. So I won't have to see that. It's also good because Alberto El Patron is wrestling on there, and I'm not interested in watching him wrestle. DDT has a show. That's the other show that like I don't think I'm going to be watching live, but I really do want to watch it because it's at the same time as Impact and New Japan show. Because DDT Goes Hollywood has Jun Akiyama and Eddie Kingston tagging together, and the poster for the advertisement for this four-way fight or this tag match of Jun and Eddie versus Daisuke and Daisuke, I should say, is everyone mean mugging except for Eddie Kingston, the guy that always mean mugs. Instead, they used a photo of him just smiling because everyone knows how happy he is to be tagging with Jun Akiyama, and that just makes me happy. But also, Eddie doing a DDT show always makes me pleased as well. That's on Fight Plus, so I'll watch that later, I think. But I'm not going to watch that live because I'd rather watch Impact and New Japan Pro Wrestling Multiverse United. Only the strong survive. And strong is all capital letters. Terrible name. But there's some... I mean, Miyu Yamashita's on that show in a four-way fight with Masha Slamovich, Giselle Shaw, and Gianna Perazzo. That originally was going to be for the Impact title, and I believe it will now be for that, but Mickie James was originally going to be in that match, and now cannot. Also, Kenta is facing Minoru Suzuki, and that's nonsense. And maybe one of my favorite wrestlers out there doing his thing, maybe Rocky Romero will win the X Division belt. I don't think he will, but he could, and that would be neato. Because I like Rocky a lot. There's a lot of wrestling. There's a wrestling event called Russell Crowe Wrestling WrestleMania 3, and I don't know what the fuck that is. I assume this is this seems to be a nonsense comedy thing. But Wet WrestleMania weekend, Russell Crowe Wrestling WrestleMania 3. It does say in parentheses, folks, they do spell it out, that Russell Crowe will not be wrestling. So if you were like, oh yeah, I'm going to WrestleMania, I can't wait to see Russell Crowe, he is not scheduled to appear. They do try to make that very clear for people, and I appreciate that. Because I was like, did somebody somehow convince Russell Crowe to run a wrestling promotion or stick his name on a wrestling promotion? The answer to that is no, they didn't. This sticker is going on oddly, and I don't like that. There. Put it on like that. It's not going to be perfect, but it is going to go on. Number one comedy wrestling show in our mostly annual tribute to the other granddaddy of them all, Russell Crowe. Okay. That's a very weird thing. The name WrestleMania is funny though. For the culture, again, that starts at 3 a.m. So even though I really want to see Willie Mack versus Billy Dixon, because that's going to be a banger, and Too Cold Scorpio is still fucking out there wrestling, that's probably not going to be a good match, but it's still cool. Nick Wayne's on a card. That's good. I like that. Bobby Orlando, great fucking wrestling name. Oh, wait. Balanaki and May Saruga. Best Bros are wrestling. Ooh, that's fun. Nick Wayne. Okay, so this is the card for Jimmy Lloyd's D-Generation F. In the opening bout, Jordan Oliver faces Nick Wayne. And then later in the night, Jordan Oliver and Nick Wayne are in a tag match. Because they're the East-West Express. That's very funny that tag partners are wrestling earlier in the night. I think that is cool. I like that. Starboard Charlie's out there. Jack Cartwheel's out there. Good for them. Starboard Charlie and Jack Cartwheel both made appearances on Dark and Dark Elevation recently. The card for Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling's live in Los Angeles. See, this says it's on Fight Plus, but when I looked at it, it said it wasn't part of Fight Plus. So I'm going to click on this. I don't think it's on Fight Plus. If it is just free with Fight Plus, that's going to be even better. If it does cost me money, that'll be okay. I will pay $20 to see it. But if I can get it for Fight Plus, it's going to be rad. Some really good tag matches at the top of the card. It's almost all tag matches because they just want to get a bunch of people out and about. Hyper Misao is going to probably do her promo in English, and that's going to be very fun. She's very good speaking English, though. If they introduce in English that Hikari Noah and Noah Kakuta's tag team name is called Free Wi-Fi, I think they'll get a huge pop from that audience because Free Wi-Fi is the best tag team name of all time. I don't think there's literally a better tag team name. I'm not joking when I say that. The idea that they're like, hi, we're Noah and now we're Free Wi-Fi. It's just a fucking great name for a tag team. So good. All right. So on here, I've just realized this is the back of the... We've been building the back of the car, and that's why we were building this whole assembly back here, because that's where the electric engine is in the back of this cool car. We were building the back this whole time, and I didn't even realize it. That's how much I understood how this car works. GCW versus DDT is, yeah, I will not be seeing that Friday night. I mean, might watch some of it. I guess I'll probably end up watching some of it because Sakiaki is facing Dark Sheik, and that rules. That's a good fucking match. Jun Akiyama and Tetsuya Endo versus Homicide and Tony Deppen is also a very good match. Like, what? And then Bussy is fighting Dino and Yuki Ino, and that's a fucking great. And then Yuki Uno, different than Ino, is facing Joey Janela. That's good. Very good card. There's a bunch of these that are just, hey, Hey, Ultimo Dragon is fucking wrestling on Friday, next Friday. Ultimo Dragon's in a show for Prestige Nervous Breakdown, which I do not believe is streaming. I believe the Prestige is going to film that. Warhorse is wrestling. Aja Kong, motherfucking, like, it does not have streaming information here to how to watch it. Aja Kong versus Masha Slamovich. That's a fucking banger right there. Aja Kong versus Masha Slamovich. That rules. Wow. That's a goddamn banger right there. I'm going to have to watch the replay of that. If it is anywhere. Like I said, it does not. This article I'm reading right now does not give me information about where I can find that match or that card. Taya Valkyrie versus Miyu Yamashita. Fuck yeah. That's a great. That's probably going to kick ass. We got the Ring of Honor show. That's looking good. SmackDown in the Hall of Fame. Joey Janela's Spring Break. Speedball Mike Bailey versus Hio del Vikingo. That's going to be good. Joey Janela versus Kota Ibushi. That's a fucking weird matchup. Motor City Machine Guns versus Nick Wayne and Jordan Oliver. That's cool. Maki Ito and Nick Gage versus TBA. We don't know who it'll be. And they're doing a show right after it. A bunch of good shit just happening. Sorry. I'm rambling about, like, there's just so much good wrestling next week. There's just, like, an impressive, unnecessary amount of good wrestling happening next week. And I'm, like, on Jeff Gerstmann's Discord, there's a wrestling sub-channel, and I talk a lot on there. I'm a mod, so I'm in around, but also interested. And I was like, all right, folks, what are we watching next week? And I listed, like, everything I'm going to be watching. And then people were like, WrestleMania and probably Ring of Honor. And I was like, probably the New Japan show later. I was like, oh, some of y'all are in. These are the same motherfuckers that were like, oh, you're just learning about El Hijo de Vikingo? Like, you're just learning how good he is? And it's like, shut up. You're not going to watch much wrestling next week. You can go fuck yourselves. I'm going to be watching a lot of wrestling next week. It's going to kick ass and be cool as hell. It's going to be good and cool and good. Basically, anytime I'm not streaming, if there's a wrestling show, I will be broadcasting it into my Discord. Well, into a friend Discord, not my own Discord. I'm not doing that. Maybe we should do that some night. I don't think of my Discord as like a hangout spot because it's usually people like posting things and then they'll check back in, or every once in a while kind of seeing what's going on. But I don't think of that Discord as a place where like I've never done a watch along or a broadcast in that Discord. Maybe I should do that at some point. I don't know. I don't know if I ever will, but like I definitely could. I gotta save this here. We got some more stuff set up for WrestleMania. John Cena versus Austin Theory for the U.S. title is confirmed. John Cena will be wrestling Austin Theory for the U.S. title at the opening of WrestleMania. That's the first match. That's the, hey, you got to be there on time. You know, you got to be watching right when it starts if you want to see John Cena, Peacemaker's own John Cena, in action. I assume not winning the title. One would hope that John, who is a part-timer at best, is not winning the U.S. title. Well, maybe he will and then, I don't know, lose it back on Raw or something, or lose it to somebody else. I don't know. I hope he doesn't win. I think it'll be weird. And then confirmed Rey Mysterio versus Dominic Mysterio. That's right, a father versus son match at WrestleMania. The day or 2 days after he goes into the Hall of Fame, he will wrestle against his own son. And you're like, well, Pat, Rey Mysterio kept saying he doesn't want to fight his son. He doesn't want to wrestle his son. Doesn't want to wrestle his son. His son's being a real dickbag, but he still doesn't want to wrestle him. What changed his mind? Was it when he hit his dad a bunch, or ripped up his mask, or made it so that his son, his dad, Dominic made it so that Rey couldn't be in the Royal Rumble? What's going on? No. Was it the part where, because they were in the front row for some reason, he insulted his sister, Rey Mysterio's daughter? No. He told his mom to shut up. Dominic took a microphone out of his mom's hand and said, "Shut up, Mom." And that was too much, because that's disrespectful. So Rey slugged him, and it was like, you want a match at WrestleMania? Fine. We're wrestling at WrestleMania. It took a while to get there, but we got there. I think Dominic Mysterio is going to win, and Rey Mysterio is going to retire at WrestleMania. But this is the thing, people were like, oh, well, I was like, Dominic Mysterio has a solo match at WrestleMania against his dad. That's fucking huge. And he's going to beat his dad in the ring and not turn face. And maybe Rey Mysterio is going to retire after that, because he'll be a Hall of Famer. Like, he might be done after losing at WrestleMania to his son. Like, I don't know. That's fucking cool. That's a possibility. I don't know. I think it's neat. It is one of the matches I am most looking forward to, because it's got fucking stakes and it's weird. Oh, and then the Andre the Giant Battle Royale is happening on SmackDown. It used to be the pre-show. They don't really do matches during their pre-shows much anymore. So instead, it is the night before, and that'll be a bunch of people. They won't get a WrestleMania payday, but they will get the pre-WrestleMania payday. So, and then we assume that maybe Bobby Lashley will manage to get something going on, because right now, we don't know the status of Bray Wyatt, except that he is seemingly injured and will not be probably at WrestleMania, but we don't know for sure what's going on with that. But one would hope something will get worked out. Did I put this on wrong? I did. I put this the wrong way. This has got to be able to bend. Got to pop this off, switch it around, stick it on there, because this needs to, go on an angle probably. There's a bunch of CM Punk nonsense that I really don't want to fucking talk about. I don't really want to talk about the CM Punk stuff, except to say, like, somebody said something on a message board. CM Punk wrote a post that he screen capped and posted on Instagram. He deleted it. People responded to it. It was a bunch of nonsense and whatever, and it's all childish and weird, and it's all a work. I don't think it's a work. I think he just sucks as a person, and so it's just a quote-unquote shoot that he just sucks. That is my big guess. In July, so not this current anime season, but the following anime season, we're getting more Horimiya. Horimiya, a fantastic high school-based romance show that I highly recommend. Horimiya fucking rules. And that's coming back, so I'm excited about that. And then also, the biggest news that chat will probably care about as far as any anime stuff I'm talking about here, Spy Family returns in October. There's going to be more Spy Family. It's coming in October. Get fucking psyched about more Spy Family, because we're getting more Spy Family in October. That is good fucking news. Because fuck yeah. Obviously, that rules. More Spy Family is good. Good for everybody. I'm going to finish this step, and then we'll take a pause for the cause, and I'll talk about ways you can support the channel, and then we'll get back into Lego building. I was about to say model kit building. I mean, we do model kit building around here, just we're not doing that right now. But yeah, anyway, that's the news that I found to be the most interesting as far as, like, announcements. We'll start, even though the new season is starting, they'll start peppering in information about future anime seasons. Spy Family is cool, but I'm really excited for Birdie Wing G-Witch April. Yes, I am happy for Birdie Wing fans. I am not one of you, but I'm happy for you. And of course, more G-Witch coming. Very excited about that. That's going to be cool as hell. Of course, very excited about that. Let's see if there's any other wrestling news. One more updates on heat between people. Yeah. There's a multi-woman tag match that Ronda Rousey's going to be in, which means that the tag titles are not in line because the tag champs are currently in a 6-person or 6-woman tag. So, like, that's... I don't care. Like, that's fine. I hope that match is during the 2 hours that I am streaming and not watching WrestleMania. That would be great. And yeah, I think that's it for wrestling news. Is there any other news here? Apparently, the God of War Ragnarok bundle for PS5, the PS5 bundle that comes with God of War Ragnarok, is like on sale. The regular game is not on sale, but that, or the regular PS5, I should say, is not on sale, but that version is. So if you wanted to have that, that'd be cool. There's a bunch of new anime this season that I am very excited about. I'm really looking forward to having a bunch of those. There's just like a bunch of isekai that are interesting to me. There are a few that I'm not gonna watch, but like action series and returning shows and all kinds of different stuff that there's like a ton of romantic comedies, and I'm like, I don't know, I am excited for new stuff. I did have 2 shows wrap up, and technically all 3 wrapped up, but one of those shows I'm 1 week behind because I came into Chilling in my 30s after getting fired from the Demon King's army. I came into that anime late, so I haven't. So I never got caught up. So that's good though, because the new stuff isn't quite starting yet. Let me see. When is the first show that I want to watch starting? This would be spring 2023. The first show that I want to watch is starting... I'm not going to watch that. Oh, wow. I got a little time because all of this stuff, everything that's coming in like 6.5 days. So really like 7 days. Let's see. The Aristocrats' Otherworldly Adventure, Serving Gods Who Go Too Far, is in 7 days and 9 hours. So you could say 8 days. That's the first show. So a week from now, I will have something to watch. That's a fine manga that I read. I haven't read the light novel, but I've read the manga. And My Clueless First Friend also comes out today, and I kind of want to watch that because it seems like a very cute slice of life. And then 8 days from now, in 10 hours, the second season of Kuma 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 Baer comes out, which is, of course, called Kuma 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 Baer Punch. I'm psyched we're getting more of that because they're so far ahead of the manga. They're not ahead of the manga, but it'll take very little time for them to get caught up with the manga. So I'm excited about that. Anyway, now it's part of the stream where I'm going to talk to you about ways you can support what I do here. I'll try to keep this very brief, and everything I talk about here is optional. You don't have to do any of this stuff, but if you would like to, you're more than welcome to do that. First and foremost, if you're currently a subscriber, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe. If you're a Tier 2 subscriber, you get the blue emote. Being a subscriber is the easiest way to support what I do here. You get cool emotes. You don't see ads. You are benefiting me and allowing me to continue to do this right here on Twitch, which you're already on. We had people resubscribing, which is very kind of you. Thank you, everybody that's resubscribed. You can also use your Prime Gaming token if you get Amazon Prime, linked with your Twitch. You get that token, you can use it for somebody. If you don't use it for anybody right now, what about this guy? But at least use it for somebody. Also, you could gift a sub, and you could join the gift sub leaderboard. Right now, John's there with Wristfan and Harold, which is very kind of them. Bits and coins always appreciated. Because we had Harold and Lord Cratchington and Ironhide the Fourth donating some bits. The bits. Those are always appreciated as well. That's another way to support me through the Twitch ecosystem. But that's not the only way, because I also have a Patreon at patreon.com/PatBaer. There's a $1, $3, $5, and $10 tier. There are different rewards for the different tiers. You can do different stuff depending on who you are and what tier you're at. So consider doing that. This does remind me that we are now getting close to the end of the month, and I do need to message people and ask them for questions so I can make a Q&A video, because that is what that's what I do. Is I do a Q&A video that is exclusive. The only exclusive content I make is my Patreon Q&A video. So I'm making a note right now that I need to email about questions, because I got one question so far and I want to ping people and try to get one or two more. But yeah, join my Patreon. It's nice there. It's a good spot. Jump in, jump on it, as they say. I have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/PatBaer. You could, of course, subscribe there for free and watch my videos and support me that way. That's a way to... Subscribing to my YouTube is a way to support me for no money. But also, if you wanted to, you could become a member, and $2 a month, you get my Wednesday videos on Tuesday. My next Wednesday video is pretty fun. It is a little bit of a departure for Baerly Rehearsed, but I think you'll like it. I haven't recorded it yet, but I know what it's going to be. I think it'll be good. So that's fun. And those are monthly ways to support me financially, but you could always just do a one-time donation. If you just want me to buy a cool model kit or a Lego set or whatever, you could just send some money to my Ko-fi or my PayPal or my Stream Elements, and everything I make through direct donations, through YouTube, which also includes AdSense, through Patreon and Twitch, all goes into a fund, and I buy model kits with that money. That is and I have a backlog of stuff. I have pre-orders for things. I just put an order in to write stuff because they had some stuff on sale. I got a Lego set for a good price, a fake Lego, I should say, and a model kit, and I got a model kit that I'll probably be building in the future soon for a project. Thanks to generosity from folks, I'm able to do that. The kit I'm currently working on, a gentleman named Chris. I don't know your name here, and you were gifted a sub. I do not know your username, but I do know that you are a him named Chris, because you reached out to me about it. Thank you, Chris. You bought me a model kit and a Lego set, Chris, and I appreciate that very much. Because of that, they jumped the queue. They became the next things that I am building on stream. If you would like to jump the queue and become the next thing that I take care of here on stream, building-wise, you can go to my Amazon wish list and buy something there. I've got Lego sets. I got model kits, inexpensive kits, expensive kits, kits with free shipping, kits that do not have free shipping. That they have not Prime. They have other version of free shipping, which just takes longer. All kinds of different stuff. Good prices on there for a bunch of model kits. The fact that there's a real grade on there, the Freedom Gundam real grade, is still only $33 is such a good fucking price for a real grade. And I think it's the only real grade I currently haven't built, because there's some new ones coming out soon. But right now, I believe that is the one I have not put together. Bunch of model kits, inexpensive kits, expensive kits, some gear at the bottom, because it's always nice to buy some gear, because maybe you want to support me, but you don't know what to buy, because that's not your jam, but you like me building things. You can just do that. Alternative to that is I have a throne wish list. Some different things. There are plenty of gift cards, because that's just easy to have gift cards up there. Again, anything purchased there, if it's a kit, jumps the queue, becomes the next thing I build. I make a dedicated YouTube video about it as well. And then you can always just buy a gift card to USA Gundam Store. Like, if you wanted me to be able to afford a pre-order for something, you could do that. I'm not going to pre-order the Epion, because USA Gundam Store is making it pretty clear they don't know how many Epions they're going to get. And a lot of people have pre-ordered from them. So I'm not going to do that, because I don't want to get my money stuck there waiting on a kit. I'll just pay more probably later, or when other people actually open up a pre-order who have an idea of how many kits they're getting. I'll do it through that. But other than that, I can buy something in USA Gundam Store, and I don't have a problem doing that. I'm just worried about this particular kit, because they usually don't say, hey, we don't know how many we're getting. But in this case, they were like, we're taking a lot of pre-orders and we'll fulfill them eventually. And it's like, ugh. If you want to support me and not spend any money, join my Discord. My Discord is full of fine folks doing cool shit, telling me about stuff they're working on, sending me links to things they're interested in me talking about. Nice people over there. I will have a new episode of Pat Baer's Anime Club out on Monday. It was recorded here on Twitch on Tuesday, so you could, if you didn't see it live, you can watch that on Monday when that comes out. The latest episode that I'm linking here in chat is Pat Baer's Anime Club. Is me talking about the Crunchyroll Awards that happened a couple weeks ago. I was kind of looking through the winners and the losers and the not nominated. And then this episode of Baerly Rehearsed, my ongoing series where every week I write a character piece and promise you that I have done some amount of rehearsal for it. It's not improv. It might not be memorized, but I have a pretty good idea what I'm going to be saying in it. This one is, the premise is, what if there was a guy that could see ghosts, but he was like, kind of over it. Like, it's like a pain in the ass to be able to communicate with ghosts. It's like kind of annoying. Also, it's in black and white, spooky. I think that video turned out pretty good, so take a look at that if you missed it. Now is the part of the stream where I am going to talk about some anime. But before I get into the anime conversation, because 2 series ended and 1 series was episode 11, I need to drink some water. And we are going to dramatically transition to the overhead, get back to Lego building, talk about some anime. And then we'll talk about like video games and what we've been playing and all that. But right now, water. Sorry about the shake. I put my glass down and it moved the table. Who doesn't love anime? Right, him, John? Some people don't. That's okay. Some people zone out when I start talking about wrestling, or when I talk about wrestling they're unfamiliar with. I did have somebody reach out to me. Anime is for jerks, but also jerks need entertainment too. I did have somebody once say, Pat, I don't care about wrestling, but I do like that you like it, which I appreciated very much. It's very kind. It was a long time ago that someone said that. Early days of streaming. That actually helped encourage me to start talking about the shows that I was watching when I suddenly did not have much of a life going on. The combination of me jumping from 4 hours a week to 6 hours a week of model kit building and 1.5 to 2 hours a week of video games at the same time that I lost my day job meant that I had a lot less going on in my life. And also I had been doing it long enough that I was like running out of stories and anecdotes. So the ability to be like, well, I'm just going to review the shows I'm watching was very helpful. Speaking of which, let's talk about the final episode of Endo and Kobayashi Live, the latest on the Tsundere Villainess Lieselotte. Hey, we just got raided at Party of 4 by Delta. Yasmin, thank you so much for the raid. I appreciate that. And friends, welcome, welcome. Let me just do this real quick. Hey, I'm Pat Baer. We're going to get back to this Lego set. We're working on the Lotus Evija. It's a ultra car that is an all-electric ultra car, and we're building a Lego set of it. Before we get back into that, a brief moment to just say, hi, I'm Pat Baer. I build model kits and Lego sets 3 times a week. Hit that follow button if you would like, so you can come and see me in the future. If you like model kit building, Lego sets, and hearing about wrestling and anime and video games and good conversations, and excellent chat. My chat is top tier. Lovely folks. Very cool. And I play video games on occasion and do some other stuff, do some like talk segments and stuff like that. We've done 2 streams where we did Smash or Pass for Pokemon, but we did friend or foe instead of Smash or Pass, and I decided if that Pokemon was a friend or not. And I think there's like at least 1 generation of Pokemon we have not done. Eventually I have to do that. I just remember we never actually did all of the Pokemon because the Smash or Pass website didn't get updated. So eventually we'll have to do that. Because we gotta know. We gotta go through those new Pokemon and figure it out. But anyway, let's get into this. working on this Lego set. Right now, I'm going to be talking about anime because the final episode of Endo and Kobayashi Live, the latest on the Tsundere Villainess Lieselotte, happened. If you're unfamiliar with this show, I will give you the premise right now. And the premise is that two people are playing a video game and they get the decision, hey, you just left your sports team to join the broadcast club at high school. To get you some practice, how about you do the play-by-play of this video game, and I'll do the color commentary, because I know a lot about this, and we'll be like a two-person announce booth. And then you'll get more comfortable doing that, and we'll kind of get a rapport, and you'll be better at whatever, because transition, it's going to be tough. And of course, he likes her, so he's like, sure. And if that was the anime, that would be still a pretty fun romantic comedy. But that's not the anime, because their commentary can be heard by various characters within the video game. And then, in episode 11, we find out it's a video game, but it's actually a link to a real fantasy world. So, even though they're playing a video game, they're really looking into a version of a fantasy world, because the guy who made the video game used to be the god of that world, and he got banished to Earth, so he recreated that world in a video game to serve as a link so that he could summon the reincarnation of the woman that he loved and killed because she did not love him back. It's complicated. A lot happens. Anyway, the main character's sister is going to be the sacrifice, which is weird because she's barely in the show. And they try to make a thing where he's been jealous of her and trying to make it it falls flat. This show needed, I'll say this, they needed 13 episodes. This show really needed a 13th episode to slow it down a little bit, or maybe one of the episodes in the middle where nothing really happened and it was mostly just vibes, which were cute and fun. Maybe instead of that, they could have spent an episode dealing with this, because it comes out of nowhere. We've barely met the sister, and to find out that he has an inferiority complex about her, and the god tries to use that to stop her, that's weird. But basically, Lieselotte, who is the heroine and the reincarnation of this girl that was murdered and recreated in the game, she summons herself into a doll and uses her abilities, and it's a cool, weird scene. Also, our other main characters, our Earth main characters, profess their feelings for one another. Yay, we did it! And then the goddess in the fantasy world is able to pull Q-on away from that world. So now that those two worlds are fine, and the game link breaks between Earth and the other world. That the link between the two is gone. So if they turn the game on, it's just a video game, and they can't be heard in there. Except that it's a fantasy world, it's a different world. So Endo and Kobayashi can be brought to that world for the big wedding that's coming up between Lieselotte and Serg. They can get married. The theoretical main characters of the story, but who are not the main characters, really, because it's complicated. Anyway, everything works out. And it's a very happy ending, where you have characters everybody's in love and people got married and it's all good, and the goddess has been restored. The witch that was a goddess the whole time can be a goddess again, and everything's cool. And everything worked out for the best. And technically, this is an isekai, everybody. I was wrong in my video about how many isekais were out this season, because technically, it is an isekai, even though it's not really, but the two main characters do go to a different world. They only do it at the end of episode 12, but so technically it is a surprise isekai. But that's Endo and Kobayashi live. Do I recommend this show? No. It's one of my favorite shows this season. It could end up on my top 10 list because obviously this is the first season of the year, so we're still early. This could definitely end up on my top 10 list. This is a very hard show to recommend because it's so fucking weird and confusing, and like a lot of it is vibes. Also, clearly what they didn't have a lot of money because a lot of it isn't animated super well. But it's well acted and well performed and a good time. It's just not like, it's just a hard thing to recommend. Because I think it has a lot of problems with pacing. But it's different. It's a different style of show. It's a different take on the I'm a Villainess Otome game style thing. Like, it's just got a different feel to it, which I really liked. I think like overall it succeeds in what it's trying to do. It's a little clunky in its delivery of its ideas. So it's rough. The other show that ended is Farming Life in Another World. This is the unbelievably easy watch. This is an isekai about a dude that had been sick for a very long time. He died. The god of creation is just like, hey, I'll send you back to, I'll send you back to life, like, or in this other world. Like, what do you want? I can do this. I can do that. Like, I got all these ideas to help you out. And he's just like, you know what I want? I want a healthy body. And one of the joys I had in my life was farming simulator games. So I would like to have a farm somewhere. So he ends up with like an overpowered weapon, and he's got like a body that can like heal for injuries, and also his body is so healthy that it can handle the feedback from this incredible weapon, which normally no one could. And then like ladies just fucking start showing up. Mythical, cool ladies that are very strong, and just decide like, I mean, the first lady he meets just is just like, he's just like, hey, I've been here alone for a long time. Yeah, I got my animal friends, but like, what if you lived here? Like, what if you lived with me? How about we do that? And they've like fallen in love, and it's really nice. And there's just like a ton of ladies, and he's the mayor of a town now, and it's a whole fucking thing. This episode centers on the fact that his son is being born, his first child, with Rue. The vampire, who is an old vampire. It is rare for vampires to give birth to children. But she has a baby. Everyone gives up alcohol until Rue can drink, because this fucking village loves their goddamn alcohol, and everyone's just like, well, if you can't drink, we're not going to drink, so fucking, I guess we'll figure this out. Rue gives birth. They name him Alfred. He is a half vampire. I don't know how that works, but that's what he is. So congratulations. Hiraku decides that the village needs its own currency, and he sets out, like, instead of trading goods, and everyone kind of like doesn't quite know. There's some confusion. Like, some people were like, here's all the money I have, give me alcohol. And they're like, well, you could do it over time. One young lady is like, hey, I also want to have a baby. And he's just like, nope. You can't offer me currency for that. Nope. Let's see. They have a big party. And the dwarves produced the wine that they saved, and they made a wine they're like, we also made this celebratory wine that we won't open until Alfred is old enough to drink it, which is nice. But everybody gets drunk and celebrates. Meanwhile, the Demon King is like, okay, so we cannot make the Great Tree Village our enemies. we've been thinking about ways to defeat them. People have tried some stuff. Luckily, that has not led to war. We're just going to become allies with them. And then one of the and then like the guy whose daughter has been coming into the village, he mistakenly thinks that they're going to try to do like a political marriage, which I don't think they're going to do. I can't remember. He does get married to several people, but eventually a bunch of people are like, there's been some wars and some persecution, and like he's got this like safe village where all these different kinds of people live together. Like the village has like, everyone is powerful. Not everyone is powerful, but there are a lot of powerful people there, but also like a lot of cool people, and it is, it's prosperous and nobody's hungry and whatever. So about 200 people want to emigrate, and he's just like, that's too many people. So I guess we're going to build another village nearby, and we'll call it the Great Tree Village 2, or we'll come up with a better name. With plans to build a second village to house like all these new people and some of the current people or whatever. That is the end of Farming Life in Another World. A very breezy, easy watch. Did I like it as much as is it in my top isekai? No. I watched a lot of isekai this season. It's not Magical Revolution. It's not Campfire Cooking in Another World. It's not Handyman Saito. But Farming Life in Another World is good. Just because it's not as good as those does not mean that it is a bad series or a series that I regret watching. Like I said, it is very chill and easy to enjoy. And I would say that if you are looking for just a pretty relaxing slice of life style isekai with some hijinks and such, and a very good spider, a very, very good spider, and some good wolves that act like dogs. If you want a show with a slime that is a drunk that turns red because it drinks so much wine, this is a pretty good series to check out. That's Farming Life in Another World. Chilling in my 30s after getting fired from the Demon King's army is not an isekai. It is part of the banished/kicked, the banished from, in this case, fired from the Demon King's army. This is a big battle. This has got a lot of fucking battles going on in this episode. There's one more. This is episode 11 I'm talking about here. So there's a dragon, and he at the mine attack, and Daryl realizes like, okay, there's little guys named knockers that work in the mine. These little demon guys, like they're in trouble. I gotta go give some backup support. And then he just hits the dragon, so it runs away. And then the former demon lord is like, a dragon got sent, huh? I bet I know who did that. It's Bash, the half brother. We assumed half brother, turns out to actually be adopted brother, or of Daryl. Is just like, yeah, he sent that. He apparently controls the dragon with a forbidden hex magic that he stole, because apparently the demon lord just let him steal it, which is weird. Hexes affect the user's sanity, so Bash flies off to Daryl because he's just like, I'm going to kill the current hero and the former hero, and I'll show everyone I'm better than my brother. Daryl has to fight a magical earth beast named Gigatomika, which rules. It's awesome looking. But he's there because Salamander, the magical fire beast, is being abused by his brother. So apparently the mithril in the blade that Daryl uses is part of the body of Gigotomika, and he's just like, yeah, I'll make that better because like you seem like a good dude. And he gets some gloves, and then yeah, Bashaverza shows up, and he's like, "Hey, I figured out how I'm going to end the war. The easiest way to end this war is to kill all the humans, and I'm going to start with Daryl." And then they start dueling, and he's just like, the worst thing that happens, possible, that like instead of hating him, Daryl's just like, you're right. I mean, you learned this cool magic that you shouldn't be able to use. You're clearly very strong, and you clearly work hard, and it sucks that nobody has ever acknowledged that. Like, it's unfair that you have not been properly acknowledged for being such a hard worker, and you've been compared to me in a way that you shouldn't have been, which is just like, you know, it's his brother having empathy, but to him that's fucking pity from his hated enemy. So that just pisses him off because he doesn't want empathy. He wants to hate him, and he wants to defeat him. He can't do that, but that's what he wants. And then because of the hex, Bash starts turning more into a dragon because he starts fusing more with Salamandra. And we're going to finish the fight in the next episode. I am way farther along because there's a lot of manga for the show. This is one of the few shows, I think one of the only shows this season where I've read the manga and the anime did not pass the manga that I have been reading. This show there's quite a bit more manga. So like, I know what's happening here. We're like, Magical Revolution, past the point I was with that. I'm not watching it week to week, but I just finished the Reincarnated Exorcist show, and that is way ahead of the manga. Not super far, but it's ahead of it. That happens. Campfire Cooking Another World, also because there's a dragon that is not currently in the anime. The manga is farther ahead than that, which is nice. Anyway, there's one more episode of Chillin, and I like it. I enjoy that, so I will continue to watch that show and finish it up. It would be weird if I not saying it hasn't happened before. It would be kind of weird if I was just like, and episode 11, great place to stop on the show. As always, I have heard good things about this most recent and the final episode of at least this season, if there's going to be more, of Trigun Stampede. I have heard good things. Again, I am not watching Trigun Stampede because I do not like the art style and some of the choices that were made. So I am not watching that. But I have heard good things, and I'm happy for my friends that it appears to be kick-ass. And apparently this last episode was good. And I want that to be good, even though I don't particularly like it. Because the art style and some of the choices and the vibe just doesn't do it for me. But I'm glad that people are liking it. Anything else? Is there anything else that I wanted to say? We might wrap up a little early tonight. We still got a little time to talk to y'all about what you've been playing video game-wise. So if you want to let me know what you're playing in the chat, I will remind you while I have you here that my next stream is on Monday, where I will finish this Lego set pretty early in the stream. And then I will start working on a model kit, the Demi Trainer, Choo Choo's Demi Trainer. We will be doing that. And then Tuesday, a week from, not a week, but several days from now, on Tuesday, it will be WWE 2K23 CPU versus CPU. I will be doing live commentary over pre-recorded wrestling matches. I always pre-record because sometimes the game crashes or just like a match doesn't work. Like sometimes the CPUs just get stuck in some of the matches. I already have my lineup. I even though the game came out a little while ago, I was giving it plenty of time because I wanted to have, I just wanted to have like more CPU choices. I wanted to have a bunch of different creator wrestlers in there, and I got a good amount. I'm always looking for more. I might change the lineup. I might substitute some people in and out. Some of my champions from WWE 2K22 no one is made, so I don't have a Miyu Yamashita right now, or Miyu, I should say. I don't have a Sailor Jupiter. I don't have Lemon Grab. And I don't have Stone Toad Steve Austin. So some of my champions are, well, Lemon Grab was the Money in the Bank winner, so, you know. Eventually, I will have a new tag belts. We'll do a new women's tag, but we didn't do it for the show. I'm giving people time to make those things to see if they're going to make the thing that I would like them to make. And if they don't, then I'll figure that out in the future. But Aristofan played a lot of Chichia this week. I also played the beta for Diablo, which did what Diablo betas do for me, sell me on Diablo. Yeah, I played some of the Diablo 4 beta today, and you know what's good? The beta for Diablo 4. That fucking whips ass. That was good. I had a good ass time playing that. Like, hey, turns out, as much as Aristofan said, selling me on Diablo. Yeah, I still not 100% if I'm going to be buying that game when it comes out this summer, but like, I'm definitely leaning towards buying that fucking game when it comes out this summer because I had a good time with it. Lord Crashing, this is the war part of Naruto Shippuden. So that's a whole thing. That is, hey, Lord Crashington? Yeah, that is a whole fucking thing. Yeah, a lot. There's some really beautiful animation and also some real like, shit, we have to have how many people in this scene? Time to use CGI and make it look terrible. Arctic Sloth finished Yakuza 4, the final bit of Kiryu act of Yakuza 5. Yes, indeed. Nice. Lashbrook says, I managed to get a Necromancer to 25 and beat the world boss a couple times. Hell yeah. I didn't get super far in Diablo. I got far enough to go, oh, you know what's cool? This video game's pretty fucking dope. So, I got pretty far in it, but I didn't get super far. I can't remember what level it was at. It wasn't 25. Also, Arctic Sloth found a sushi restaurant and a cool bar in walking distance from your house. Hell yeah. Always nice to make local discoveries. That rules. Gara's speech is good. Gara's speech to everybody is real cool. About what he's learned. And friendship. Friendship's really important. And understanding and accepting each other's differences. It definitely seems like the artists got their new CG tech to put a ton of people on screen in the big shots. Yes. Some of that looks incredible. Some of that looks like, it's very clear that Toei was hiring out another group to do backgrounds for some big fight scenes with all of the ninjas. Because sometimes they're just like a lot of fucking ninjas that need to be in a shot. And some of it does not look good, Lord Crashington. Some of it does not look that good. Some of it will look totally fine and cool. But sometimes you're like, oof. Oofa. Oofa and doofa. Alright, we'll put that on there. But yeah, I'm still playing Hearthstone. I played Diablo 4 beta. It was good. It was cool. I don't really have much more to say than that. There's a Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling show that starts at 11 p.m. tonight, which I will be watching live. It is the final show before the LA show. Not everyone is in LA yet, so there'll still be plenty of good folks, but like Miyu and Maki I think is in LA. Or no, Miyu's already in LA because she has some matches. Maki is still in Canada, but like most of the Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling folks are still in Japan. It'll be another one of their like smaller shows. That's tonight. I'm excited about that. It doesn't help that one of those big crowd shots just features the same model thousands of times. Yes, they very much did not do a great job with that part. It's very much of its time. I think that's gonna do it for tonight. Like I said, I'm gonna wrap up a little earlier than normal. My apologies for that, but I want to watch wrestling with some friends tonight. So I'm gonna wrap things up. Also, there's like I can't go over, but if I did go over, I could finish this, but I'm not going to worry about finishing this because we can just finish it on... I also might have put this on upside down. Now that I look at it, did I put this on wrong? I might have put this on wrong. No, I didn't. This is supposed to go like that. Okay. But I'm going to finish this on Monday, and then I'll start the Demi Trainer, and that'll be fun. So that'll be Monday's stream. Enjoy your spring vacation, Dirty. Hell yeah, play some PS5 Royale and Destiny 2. That sounds fucking rad. I hope you have a great time on your vacation. Enjoy it. But yeah, I got a lot done on this car, which is rules. And we are going to raid. That is how we end every stream. We always end with a raid. We're going to go find somebody doing cool shit out there. Just like we had the raid tonight, where we had Delta come in, which is awesome. We want to share the love out there and go hang out with some other people. And Zombie Pie, too. I'm sorry. Zombie Pie and Delta had raided, which rules. So we want to go and share the love by raiding as well. We're going to go find somebody doing some fun stuff out there and hang out with them. So feel free to come along in this raid. Let me see. Who are we going to go raid? I don't know how much longer Loading Ready Run is going to be doing. They're doing a bonus stream tonight because it's not their Loading Ready Live. I don't know how much longer they're going to be streaming for because they started, I think, at like 8 p.m. Eastern. So I don't know when they're going to be done. I have no idea how much longer Vectroid is going to be streaming because she she's been streaming for like 8 hours. Actually, she might still be going. You know what? We're going to go raid Ra because Ra rules. And she's been watching some like bass fishing competition all day and just having a good time, kind of making fun of it and having enjoying it. We do always end with the raid. So we're going to go raid Ra because Ra rules. And whatever shenanigans she's getting up to, I know you'll like. So we're going to go do that. Feel free to come along on this raid. I don't know how much longer she's going to be streaming, but she'll also go give somebody a raid. And it'll be a good time. So feel free to come along in this. I hope to see you on Monday as I finish this Lego set and then I start a model kit. Or Tuesday for WWE 2K23, CPU versus CPU. 8 matches on the card. Several titles on the line. It'll be fun. Thank you all so much for hanging out. I hope you have a great rest of your evening. I will see you on the next one. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye, 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 goodbye. Goodbye to you.